the right size. So in this first question, we have 1,000. So I can make a sticky note of 1, and then I can just move it down onto that blank. All right, the next page is more of the same. And then we're moving on to page number 7. We have a chart, a place value chart, that's going to break up numbers that are in standard form, and we're just going to highlight each part of the number and show how much it's worth. So our columns across the top, let's start at kind of the right. We have the ones column, right, which is how many ones we have. It's the smallest column we're looking at because we're not looking at decimal numbers, just whole numbers. So we have the ones column, we have the tens column beside it, in the hundreds column to the left of the tens column, and beside the hundreds column, we now have the thousands column. So in this example first number, we're just identifying what number is in each place. So 3,464, we have 3 thousands, 4 hundreds, 6 tens, and 4 ones, and that's how you see the chart created. So you could use text box or sticky notes to finish that page. This next question is kind of similar, but we're just working with the numbers and not putting them in charts. And you're going to look at each number, and it's going to tell you to identify one digit in that number. So you have to read carefully. The first one says circle the tens. So we're going to look for that tens column. We know the ones column is all the way on the right of the number, and the tens column is beside the ones. So we have the ones. Let me see if I can write this small enough in a text box, but big enough so we can see it. So here's the thousands column right there. And then we have the hundreds, and then we have the tens, and then we have the ones. So let's stretch that out and put it on top of our numbers, and that might be helpful. There we go. So the second question says circle the hundreds. So I'm going to start at the right side of my number. I know the 4 is in the ones column, so there's 4 ones. There's 9 tens, and hundreds sit beside the tens, so we have 300. Okay, these next couple questions are working with a different form of numbers we call expanded form. And that's when you look at a number, one digit at a time, write down what that digit's worth based on the place in the number, and then you kind of attach them using plus signs. So we're making an addition statement that will add up to the actual number that we're trying to represent. So we're trying to show 1,000 plus 500 plus 30 plus 3. So what that shows is we have 1 in the thousands column. We have 500, so we could put a 5 in the hundreds column, a 3 in the tens column, and a 3 in the ones column. So let's do one of these together, because sometimes these can get a little tricky. The one that I want us to do together is actually number 5. So let's take a look at number 5 together. I have a 9 in the thousands column, a 2, and a 20 and a 1. So you might be tempted to write it like this, but this is where you have to be really careful, because that 9 needs to be worth 9,000. And even though I'm only adding 3 numbers together, I can't have my answer be only 3 digits long, because if my answer is 3 digits long, what column is that 9 sitting in? It's sitting in the hundreds column. So we need to use a 0 as a placeholder so that that 9 can actually sit in the thousands column. Because we know the 2 is worth 20 and the 1 is worth 1, that placeholder will need to go here in the hundreds column. So now we look at our number. We see we have 9 at the beginning, and it's worth 9,000 because it's 4 digits into our number. It's in the thousands column. We have 0 hundreds, we have 2 tens, and 1 1. You can try those ones. And then on this next page, you're going to go the other way. So now we're looking at the word form, and we are going to move it into expanded form. So I'm going to look at each number one at a time. So the most valuable digit in my number is the 3 at the front, and the 3 is in the thousands column because I can count ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. 3,000 plus the next digit, which is in the hundreds column. I'll let you work through those questions. All right, we're down to another matching activity, just like on the first page. And this time we're matching 4-digit numbers. So we're working in the thousands, and we want to match the standard version of the number, so the number version, with the word version. So I'm just going to read the column of word versions. The first one is 6,002. 6,316, 4,012, 4,203, 4,720, 6,999. So when I look at the first question, it's 4,012. There's nothing in the hundreds, so I read 4,000, and then I'm going to look for 12. So it's going to be one of these 3 numbers that start with 4,000, and this one here is 4,012. All right. And here we're going from that word form to our number form. Okay. On this second last page, we're going to use our alligator mouths again, just with bigger numbers. So the same idea. We're going to look at the most valuable digit of our number first and try to figure out which number is showing the larger amount. And then we're going to point our alligator mouth towards that larger amount. So let's find one that's a little bit tricky. I like this one. Let's take a look at number 6. So when I look at the numbers in number 6, I see we have 3,000 and 3,000. So that's equal. They both have 3,000. And then I go to the next most valuable digit, which is the hundreds column, and they both have a 5 in that column. So 500 and 500. So now let's go to the next most valuable column, which is the tens column. And you see a difference here. The first number has an 8, and the second number has a 7. So 8 is larger than 7. Our alligator is going to want that plate of cookies over there. So I'm going to point my greater than symbol. So 3,581 is greater than 3,576. In this last page, you have 4 questions. The first 2, you're going to order the numbers from least to greatest, which means the smallest number is going to come first, then the second smallest, third smallest, fourth smallest, and then fifth smallest, also known as the greatest. And then in the next question, you're going to order them from the greatest to the least, and you have accomplished a lot of work if you made it this far. Hopefully, some spots in this video helped you, or hopefully the real Mr. Davis helped you, and hopefully you're feeling pretty good about some of these concepts, and we can start to apply them to a bit bigger numbers. And this question is kind of fun because we are now working with 6-digit numbers. All of a sudden, we now have hundreds of thousands. So if you do get stuck here, that's okay. We're going to kind of build on that probably next week. All right, thanks for watching. I'll go back and add those times to each video so you know where to find help for each question.